Hi, and welcome to At-Home Art Lessons with the Art Groupies, where we develop great art habits. We're going to be working with this groupie, Roz, and Roz is all about reflecting. We're going to reflect on a culture, and we're going to be inspired by the book, How to Catch a Dragon. This story is a beautiful illustrated story about the Chinese New Year and how dragons are actually a very sacred and special magical animal, and it's all about wealth, health, and good fortune. So How to Catch a Dragon by Adam Wallace and Andy Elkerton. This is going to be our inspiration. So I'm going to start with a simple line. We're going to be using watercolor paints and a black Sharpie. I'm going to create my dragon's head down here at the bottom, and I'm going to work my way up to the top. So I'm going to try to fill in my entire space. I'm going to start with a simple line. My simple line is going to be an upside down letter V, and this is for my dragon's mouth. I'm going to create another bigger V right around it and attach. I'm going to add some triangles for my dragon's teeth. I can also add a nice tongue, like a serpent, for my dragon. I'm going to use a simple circle and then a straight pupil for my dragon's eye. They believe that dragons come from many different types of animals, the eye being a rabbit. I'm going to add a little bit of a whisker coming out. I'm then going to give my dragon some shape to his face. I'm going to add some triangles around my dragon's head, and then I'm going to attach them kind of like spikes. I'm also going to give my dragon a magical horn, like a horn of a deer. So there's my dragon's head. I'm now going to add his body, and I'm going to start with the letter S all the way up to the top. Just the simple line to make an S. And this is going to be for the center part of my dragon's body. Now I'm going to make the under part. And I'm just going to follow that line around. They believed that the bottom part of a dragon was that of a reptile. So we're going to go ahead and add these beautiful curved lines to represent the bottom of our dragon. And then the top part of our dragon, which is going to have some beautiful texture and scales of a carp. So I'm going to use some nice scalloped shapes for the texture of my dragon. They also believed that the paws of a dragon came from that of a lion, but the claws came from an eagle. So we're going to create one big foot down here, and I'm just going to start with a simple curved line, come down here. So this is going to be for my front paw. It comes down here like the paw of a lion, and then we're going to add the claws of an eagle. So just a simple rectangle with a triangle coming off for the claw. We're going to make another one up here for the back leg. And again, just a simple curved line. Join that back up here for his claw. Again, those simple squares with a triangle for the eagle claw. So there is my dragon. Voila. I tried to fill up the entire space. I'm going to add a background, and I'm going to just create a simple wash for my background. And I'm going to pick a cool color, and I'm just going to simply use different cool colors. Cool colors are blue, purple, and green. They are our cool colors in art. I'm going to use warm colors for my dragon. That way it will be popping out and have contrast in my art, having cool colors in the background, and in the foreground, which is my dragon, will be popping out and won't blend in. So I added lots of visual texture for my dragon. The underbelly of my dragon is a snake or a reptile, and the top part of my dragon is that of a carp. So for the background, I'm just doing a simple wash. I can use several different colors to wash it in to make my art even more interesting. The more colors you use, the more exciting your art will be. So this is just a simple wash as a watercolor technique, and I'm just washing a very simple color in the background. If you want to make your colors darker for your wash, not a problem. You can just go right over top, and it makes for a darker color. So that's the fun thing about watercolor, is that you can make your color lighter by using lots of water, and you can make it darker by either going over top of it or just not using so much water. Whenever you use watercolor, water is what it's all about. You don't want to have sticky goops of watercolor paint, because then it just becomes a sticky mess. Watercolor is all about the water. And it should just be a nice, beautiful, almost transparent type of wash. And we want to create a nice magical feel for our magical dragon. Again, we're taking a nice trip to Asia, where in different cultures in Asia, the dragon is a little different. So in China, especially during the New Year, the dragon is a symbol of health and good fortune. The dragon in the Japanese culture is usually a serpent, and is very powerful because Japan is made up of lots of different islands. So water is very, very important in their culture. So their dragons are usually dragons that live in the sea and have magical powers when it comes to water. think the closest thing that we have to a real live dragon is the kimono lizard. They get to be very big, at least 3 feet long. And they come from Asia, which is one of the biggest continents, which is the biggest continent in the world. So now that I have my background to my dragon done, I'm going to do a wet into wet technique for my dragon's scales for the carp. And I'm simply just going to wash my brush, and then I'm just going to, like I said, use warm colors, which is orange and yellow and red. And I'm just going to put some colors down and let the water do the blending and the mixing. It makes for a nice, beautiful, natural looking blend of colors when you do wet into wet. You get colors, kind of looks like tie-dye. I think I'll add some pretty magenta in there. Now I'll just use a nice yellow for his underbelly. Again, I'm going to stick with warm colors for my dragon, and I used cool colors for the background. So my dragon pops off the paper. That kind of shows contrast. I think I'll do his legs the same color. My brush, maybe make some nice beautiful red scales and texture around my dragon's head. So you always want to tickle your paper when you are painting. You don't want to ever scrub, because you'll ruin your painting and your paper and the paints. So you just kind of tickle. Tickle, tickle. Tickle the paint, tickle the paper. And you can always go back into your painting to make it even better. Once it dries, you can go in and add some more texture and details to make that dragon just come alive and pop up off of that paper, and hopefully bring you good health and good fortune. So that is my Asian dragon. I hope you are inspired, and I hope you enjoyed our trip to Asia. Thanks for joining me. See you later.